everybody from across the pond over here in England. Just want to give a shout out to you all. Now we're moving forward past sort of historically from the 20s and the 30s, the Depression, World War II in the 40s, and then post-World War II in the United States, a new phenomenon, the Cold War, takes root, doesn't it? And there's this new anxiety between the West and the Eastern Bloc, the Communist Bloc. And that penetrates into movies. With the Blacklist that you're going to read about this week, but also really you see it largely in Western movies, the popular Western movies, Cowboys and Indians, and you see the values, again, looking at American values portrayed in the Wild West and what it means to be a rugged, powerful cowboy. So masculinity as well coming into all this as well. But then also the othering, the difference, the sort of the communist style of the collective living of the Native American, but also sort of creating a stereotype of that we're going to look at next week with a fantastic documentary, Real Engine. So you'll have the link for that. But this first week looking at sort of the communist side, looking at the how Hollywood was affected with the blacklisting, people that we've already looked at, Charlie Chaplin being a victim of this. Also, he liked younger women, which is a problem, but he was also a victim of the blacklisting, being associated with the Communist Party and having to leave the United States for many decades before coming back. Humphrey Bogart, the main character in Casablanca, he speaks up against all that's going on in Hollywood and around the country with the blacklisting. So, and then you have, you can't think about Westerns without John Wayne. And John Wayne playing a huge role. We do now know how much of a major role he really played in that time, where you couldn't, there's documentaries, there's books about it, where you couldn't get a job in Hollywood without his permission and the people, especially if you were even remotely thought of being communist. So that's one side. Then you have on the other side, you have people like Stanley Kubrick. You have some other people starting to come out in Hollywood who are openly kind of communist, openly showing this stuff. And that has this big fight in the 50s and 60s. And then you see a change with the 60s, the late 60s and into the 70s. And that's what we're going to get to later with New Hollywood. But that right now we're looking at this conflict of the Cold War and how much it really affects Hollywood, and specifically cowboy movies, Westerns. Next week we're going to look at a different way, and we're looking at the Native American portrayal, how Hollywood portrays identity, specifically the identity of Native American. So the stereotypes that you think of when you think of an Indian, through mascots of teams, through depictions in movies and shows. We're all going to address that and look at that through a pretty interesting documentary, Real Engine. That's going to be the focus. So those are the two things we're going to get into for this week and next. Continue to communicate with me. Again, I just want to end this video by encouraging you that you're doing a great job. Just showing up week after week, knowing that the discussions are going to be due pretty much on a Monday. That gives you the whole week and the weekend to get through the material. There's plenty of time to do stuff, plenty of time to do these papers. Casablanca's papers coming up. So spend some good quality time writing that. Feel free to discuss with your small groups if it's helpful. Feel free to discuss with me if you have questions. But just rock that stuff. And you're doing a great job. We're halfway through almost. Good luck and have a fantastic rest of this week. And we'll be in touch. Enjoy this week and next. Bye-bye.